Hello and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike and I play with up to 2 Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin. Need to take a shower.
Why? What?
I played Wochen Parish Trap with Arcanine and Tinglu on the channel today, and I need to take a shower.
I thought you were about to tell me about a very long and harrowing day that you had, but no. you're just going straight into the games. All right, tell me about this game.
Oh, so it's not a game. It was a set of games, a set of 3 games, in which I proceeded to leech seed everything, click Parish Song, trap them in, salt cure them, wait.
In that order.
Yes. I played the first game, went down to 1 minute left.
Oh my gosh.
And I won the eventual bleed.
And this was, you said, a best of 3?
No, this is just like a...
It will be a best of 3 eventually.
Yeah, eventually, right? No. I almost feel guilty. And I think a lot of people are also like, Kevin, why? Why did you make this rental code? You're right. So the thing is, like, people are already doing this, but they were doing it on Showdown. I made it on cartridge, so you guys could all have fun.
I'm proud of my creation, but I sure did make it.
So if you guys want to be mean whenever the letter drops, which should be within a week, then go ahead, grab that rental code. It's on YouTube.
There you go. Kevin, I didn't mention this in the Preej, but for those of you who, by the way, don't know what the Preej is, that's what we do over on Patreon, patreon.com/Pokésports, where we do a whole other 15, 20, sometimes 2-hour segment prior to the podcast. But what I forgot to mention on that was I am taking voice lessons.
Ooh, yeah. Mike's learning how to speak.
I'm taking voice lessons for animation, and we're going to put together a demo reel, and I'm going to start giving it out to agents. But
voice actor Mike.
What's that?
Voice actor Mike.
Voice actor Mike. I told you I'm making the commitment to make that happen for me this year. But one of my heroes is now here in the Pokemon space. And that person, I don't even know their name. And I don't think I need to. But it's the person whoever voices Ball Guy in Pokemon Masters EX. Now, this might be the Japanese voice actor. This might be the English voice actor. You know what? It's kind of both. In Pokemon Masters EX, which a game that Kevin and I have not played in a very long time.
I've never
we still get news for. You haven't even touched it. Wow. I played it for a while.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I can't get into it. There is a new character, and that character is Ball Guy. And I love that the entire Pokemon space has not forgotten about Ball Guy, because I was worried that Scarlet and Violet, Ball Guy would just kind of fade into the background. We wouldn't see him in it ever again. Not so. They're keeping Ball Guy alive and well.
What if that's the first thing you see
in the DLC?
When you go to the Blueberry Academy or whatever the heck it is, it's like, Ball Guy, hey, trainer.
So that's the voice that we expected him to have.
Yeah.
And what Pokemon Masters EX did is deliver 100% on that.
Imitate it. Let's go, Mr. Voice Actor.
Well, I need to listen to his voice real quick. Hold on. We've got it coming.
Mike's
right
going to imitate
here.
it for you guys. It's going to be spot on, perfect. You won't even have to listen to the real.
Not holding back.
Yeah. So Ball Guy is screaming, "Not holding back," is amazing. But it starts. There's a video out there that has all of his voice lines. And it starts out nice and clean and jovial and like, we're going to have a ball. Like, let's get the ball rolling, which is A+ Ball Guy material. But then right at the end, he like harnesses his inner demon and like gives out this guttural scream. And I love it.
We're not holding back.
Yeah. So very happy with Ball Guy. Yeah.
You are actually the Ball Guy. Like, look behind you. For those not watching the video version of this podcast, Mike has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Wand Company Pokeballs. It's just kind of chilling. Also, a ball guy plushie there. Someone
It's
really
true.
cute must have gotten you that.
He's right there. No, that was the first plushie I ever owned.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I need to own this ball guy. I need to make ball guy my personality, and so I did. Little did I know, I guess my daughter must have run in here and put all the balls inside each of the things. Because like I put the balls on top, but I look back just now and I'm like, oh, they're gone.
Maybe she just took them all. They're all gone.
Yeah. I am committing to making my personality ball guy. Yes.
Oh, you're almost there.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Anyway, let's get the ball rolling and let's talk about what we're doing in this podcast today. For those of you who missed the Decidueye raid, I hope you either got it or got an egg from somebody, because eventually you'll be able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't gotten an egg yet, you can probably hop on our Discord. There's people nice enough that are willing to trade you eggs for absolute trash. So
I might be.
Free.
I might be willing. Yeah, but everyone's wondering what's the next raid gonna be. It's Blissey. It's Terra Fairy Blissey,
which is kind of weird.
Various actually different Terra type Blissey.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the whole point, Terra Fairy, but everything else says various. Yep.
I think the whole point of Blissey is that maybe it's just going to give you a lot of experience and
that would be sweet.
Yeah, and it probably is like a lot of Terra shards. That's what I'm imagining. Like if they drop like 10, 15 Terra shards per, like that's helping a lot. Thank you, Game Freak. Give me more Blissies.
What does this say here? The next Terra Raid battle event has been announced. The event will feature a focus on the Pokemon Blissey of various Terra types with increased EXP candy and Terra Shard rewards, with some Blissey spawns having even more Terra Shards. These will be in 5-star raids.
I promise that I didn't read that before. That was a very lucky guess.
And they're going to be 5-star raids too, so they're going to be easy.
Yeah, and it's going to be a Blissey, so just run the physical fighting type.
Or
you will
physical
one-shot it.
Pokemon. It's not going to be.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
a physical Pokemon that is good against the Terra. Fair.
That's right.
You're gonna you'll literally just farm these things like nothing. Wow, that's really good for the game. This is actually very good for competitive. It's relevant to competitive.
That's super huge for competitive, right? Finally being able to farm Terra Shards in a way that isn't what we're all expecting the DLC to have, which is just an easier way of farming Terra Shards.
Yeah. Thanks, Blissey.
Thank you, Blissey. You know what? When I started talking about the Blissey, I didn't expect it to really go anywhere.
And
by the end of that conversation, I'm very happy about where it went. Why is Blissey good for competitive? Let's find that question out here. That is how. All right. Last weekend, March 18th and 19th, was the VGC Regulation Set B tournament in Utrecht, Netherlands.
Is that what they said? Regulation Set B?
That's what it's called.
I hate it.
They just it's retconned. It's always been Regulation B.
So what do we call Series 0?
What was Series 0? Was Pokemon even calling it Series 0?
Technically, the pre-Series 1 was Series 0.
Nobody was calling
Series
it that.
C.
1, nobody was calling it that. 2, Pokemon definitely wasn't calling it that.
I'm calling it that. It's Regulation 0. Regulation X.
Regulation Alpha. And then we had Regulation Omega later. There were 460 Masters players over the weekend in the Netherlands, all set to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in 9 day 1 Swiss rounds and 5 day 2 Swiss rounds with the top 8 elimination. Of course, it was open team sheets as usual. And we have our top 8 here.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say, this list of trainers here, this list of Pokemon, it's very similar to everywhere else in the world.
Either y'all are really uncreative up there in Utrecht, or
I think that we're the ones who are uncreative, and they're just kind of picking up on what we're putting down.
I didn't finish. I said, or the meta is finally solved because
There you go.
it
Or the meta
definitely
is
seems
solved,
like
exactly.
that way with this top 8. Because wow, there is a lot of Fluttermane,
Mhm.
a lot of Roaring Moon, a lot of Moon Guy, and one old Greg. And I get it. Them some really good Pokemon right there. It's good stuff.
Kevin,
everywhere.
I gotta say, you call Brute Bonnet Old Greg, and I was saying this on Twitch yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Everybody has their own Old Greg, and if you don't have your own Old Greg, you just don't know it yet. But yeah, Kevin's Old Greg is Brute Bonnet because of the hair. My Old Greg is Sandy Shocks because of the hair. But everybody probably has a different kind of Old Greg out there somewhere. And that's going to be the question of the day is who's your Old Greg? No, it's not. It will not. But yes, there was one Old Greg there. Tons of Fluttermane. Second to that, tons of Amoonguss. Actually, if I'm looking here, we have 5 Fluttermane and 5 Amoonguss. So we were tied for that. I don't consider that Amoonguss factor, though. Because we're sitting in a solved meta right here.
Yeah, we're at the end.
Everybody has collectively agreed that, like, this is the meta that we're playing. Let's now move on to Regulation C.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, I found out in the overall tournament, 53.9% usage on Fluttermane. Wow.
And how much on Iron Bundle?
41.1%.
Interesting, because there were more Iron Bundles used in the top 8 than there was Fluttermanes.
Mm-hmm.
There were 6 Iron Bundles in the top 8 and 5 Fluttermanes in the top 8. But Iron Bundle was used less than Fluttermane overall.
That's interesting.
So the best players, is what this is telling me, is the best players know that you just kind of have an Iron Bundle on your team.
It's speed control. It's faster than a Lucky. I can't believe Pokemon made a Pokemon faster than a Lucky. That's wild to me. I thought that would be it. Like, okay, base 200, we're never passing that. Everything else would be below it. Nope. Booster energy.
What's Iron? Oh, yeah, okay.
136 plus 50% boost for free. Yeah, it's booster energy. Takes you to way too much.
So that puts you at, is it actually faster than a Lucky? What's a Lucky?
277 at max speed. So I think
Bundle. What's
would
base speed? I was about to type in
200.
Its base speed is 200?
A Lucky, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So Bundle is 136 and max speed is 206 times 1.5. That is 309.
Yeah.
Yeah, you outspeed a Lucky by a good 40-ish points.
What?
Unnecessary.
Wow. I mean, it really is the Quark drive that pushes it ahead. Without it,
that's true.
It's not hitting it, and without being like fully speed invested, it's not hitting faster than a Lucky. But when would you ever not run full speed investment on your bundle?
Yeah, I mean, it's really the only 2 good stats, so might as well just maximize them.
I did realize today that its defense is really high.
Oh yeah,
its special defense not so much.
It's actually really tanky if you put it on the snow team too, because that gets boosted. Your defense gets boosted again.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you're going from base 114 to like base 170 pretty much.
Yeah,
that's a lot of defense on a little guy.
Its HP is terrible, but
I am never going to remember that because I do so many things based on feel. Ultra Beasts I had the same problem with because they made a point of making Pokemon that didn't look like what they did. So this Iron Bundle I'm going to look at and be like, oh yeah, that doesn't have very high defense at all. Doesn't matter. Just close combat.
Base 114. It's actually really high.
Can live those sometimes.
That's wild.
Yeah. It trades off for having a low HP stat, 56 base HP. But who
cares? If you're a special attacker and your attack is higher than your HP and your special defense, then there's a little bit of a problem, but
right,
we can figure that out later.
Right. So let's talk about the top 4 of the top 8. Coming in fourth, we have Alex Gomez, who ended up with 130 CP, who brought a King Gambit, a Mungus, of course, Arcanine, Iron Bundle, Dragonite, and Fluttermane. This, in my mind right now, is Series 2, is Regulation B. This team exactly.
Yeah, it has a lot of good facets to it. I'm trying to look for like anything that's like standing out to me on his team. The one thing that's kind of surprising me is Morning Sun on Arcanine.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually expect that one, but hey, makes sense. Give Arcanine recovery. Does pretty good. Also, there's an Assurance on King Gambit. So both Assurance and Sucker Punch on the King Gambit. No Kotao Cleave.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting having low kick on King Gambit as well. Deal with other King Gambits really well with that.
Deal with T-Tars also.
And T-Tars, yeah, for sure.
Got Water Terra Mungus, kind of standard Mungus. Fluttermane is Booster Energy Fluttermane. Okay, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because typically it's the other way around. It's Iron Bundle with the Booster Energy and then Fluttermane with the Focus Sash, but this one has it flip-flopped.
Right, fair. Coming in third, also coming out with 130 CP, was Marco Silva, who went in with a Garganacl, Roaring Moon, Amoonguss, Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, and Mimikyu. Now, Mimikyu, one of those Pokemon where you kind of just see it one time every tournament, somewhere in the top 8. Like someone is bringing a Mimikyu and they're going to do really well with it. And who knows who that's going to be.
The cool thing about Marco's team,
yeah,
is that this is actually an electric type Amoonguss.
Right.
Which is not something that's very common, but makes a lot of sense. Like if you have because we're at a current stage where it's like Amoonguss wants to be Water Terra to deal with Torkoal. Amoonguss wants to be Dark Terra to deal with Armarouge. Amoonguss wants to be a lot of different things. This kind of is nice because you go from having a bunch of weaknesses to having just one.
Right.
So it's a way to cover all your bases.
Amoonguss is very rarely going down to one hit. One unboosted hit, unless it is super effective and done with a Pokemon that specializes in doing a move like that.
Yeah.
Right? There's only a handful of things that can take out an Amoonguss. Now, this one has Regenerator and Citrus Berry. So, one, it's able to heal up if you switch out. And two, if you don't take it down that first time, then that Citrus Berry is going to put it back up to around half, where you can just take it out, regenerate it, send it back out with like 75-80% HP and just do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, not to mention most people won't look at an Amoonguss be like, yeah, I have to high horsepower that thing. I have to go for Headlong Rush. So like the Electric Terror is typically always safe. And, you know, if they call that, then you punish them by not terastallizing, then they just did no damage to an Amoonguss. Here's a Spore, enjoy.
One thing to note about using an Amoonguss, a defensive Amoonguss with a lot of healing, is that if you're planning on taking advantage of Regenerator, if you're planning on taking advantage of using the Electric Terra, making it not take that much damage, you have to make sure that the thing that you're swapping into can take a hit. Because often you won't want to switch in like an Iron Bundle on your Amoonguss, because that thing's just going to take whatever hit was meant for the Amoonguss and probably go down to its sash. And this team benefits from that really well with Garganacl and Iron Hands. Either one of those, you can kind of choose which one you want to swap in to take that extra damage so that you give your Amoonguss that space to heal.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this team, there's 3 things that are weak to fighting, for example, and Amoonguss is a great redirection into fighting. Mimikyu is a great redirection into fighting. Also, Curse Mimikyu with just a full offensive Mimikyu too. So it's not even like this Mimikyu is meant to undo Trick Room or anything like that. They're running Curse because Curse is a great way to deal with Dondozo.
Right.
You just go for Curse. Most Dondozos can't live 4 turns, so that's fine.
Coming in second, we have Aurelian Sola, who ended up with 160 CP, who brought an Iron Bundle, Dragonite, Great Tusk, Mousehold, Goldengo, and Volcarona. Now, this is a Covert Cloak Goldengo.
Only 2 Goldengos made it top 8, and both of those are first and second.
First and second, right?
Yeah, wow.
It's funny. It's very funny. But yes, this Covert Cloak Goldengo is quite interesting. And personally, I don't know what the specific use for it is.
I'm thinking just Salt Cure.
Salt cure. Okay.
And maybe like rock slide flinches, freezes, burns from secondary effects. Because Golden Go can't get statused, but it can still suffer from secondary effects from moves. So I guess this just means Golden Go, nothing will happen to this Golden Go ever.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, it's just gonna remain.
Those rock slide flinches that really take out a mon, huh?
I guess so. I don't know. I'm sure it's mostly for Salt Cure.
Yeah.
But hey, it's nice. I don't know if I would go about it as like a first move choice. I'm sure there's something that Aurelion Soul has that I don't know, you know? But yeah, I get it. It's good. Does damage.
Yeah. This one uses the mouse hold that I like, which is the Friend Guard mouse hold with safety goggles. Super Fang, Follow Me, Baby Doll Eyes, and Protect. I see so many pros these days using Baby Doll Eyes, and I don't know why I refuse to fall into it. It's just not happening for me.
It's a priority move.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's a priority move that just gives you a free -1. I mean, I'm sure the thing with mouse hold is that Friend Guard already helps things like Golden Go, which can get tanky. Like Golden Go stats are like almost perfect distribution. All it needs is a little bit more speed, a little less attack, and it's a perfect Pokemon. That already gets covered up or patched up by its broken ability. Friend Guard is then patching that up again by 75%. And then if you can just go ahead and lower their attack a little bit more, then you are helping your damage calculations so much.
And it makes a lot of sense to have Baby Doll Eyes on your Pokemon right now. The
Great
amount
tusk.
of physical, right? Well, that's part of what I'm getting at here is there's the amount of physical Pokemon in this meta. It far outweighs the amount of special Pokemon. You usually have your staple like Iron Bundle, which does a lot of special damage, but the only ones really that are seeing a lot of play in Series 2 at least is like Fluttermane and Torkoal, maybe a little bit of Volcarona, maybe a tiny little sprinkle of Golden Go if you're first or second at a tournament. But apart from that, it's all physical. Iron Hands, Great Tusk, Roaring Moon,
Dragonite,
King Gambit, Dragonite, Annihilate. There's a ton of physicality right now in the meta. So Baby Doll Eyes is not a bad thing at all.
Just gotta be careful about those Defiant Mons though.
Yeah.
And those dark types? Does Baby Doll Eyes work on dark types? Probably knocks its priority.
It does.
Oh, because it's not a prankster, right?
Yeah, it's just prankster that doesn't work on that. Great Tusk was just the kind of basic Great Tusk with Headlong Rush, Close Combat, Earthquake, Protect. Dragonite was your basic Dragonite, Terra Flying, Dragon Claw, Terra Blast, Extreme Speed, Ice Spinner. I like to call that one the Orlando Dragonite. And then Iron Bundle is your typical Iron Bundle, except with Booster Energy.
Volcarona is a little slept on in my opinion. I think Volcarona is actually a really decent Pokemon. Yeah, I struggle. Maybe it's because I play Psy Spam a lot. I struggle a little bit against Volcarona because, you know, getting hit by a Bug Buzz isn't always great for an Indeedee. It's also not great for an Armarouge that just terrestrialized into a grass type. I think Armarouge in general, the reason why Armarouge is so good is because you can be a grass type that is immune to fire, which means that in order for the opponent to do damage to you, they have to either hit you with a bug move or hit you with an ice move. There aren't that many common bug or ice types in the meta. We have Baxcalibur and Volcarona. So if the opponent's team don't have one of those two Pokemon, you can just grass Terra for free. It's like, okay, here I am. And even Talonflame can't Brave Bird you because you should have Psychic Terrain on the field. So you're safe from that. So there's a lot of just good things behind Armarouge and Indeedee. And if Volcarona can scare that, then it's scaring me.
Can I burst your bubble a little bit? When you were saying all these praises about Armarouge, I went and I looked up all of the Armarouges that ended up in Utrecht.
Okay.
And over the weekend, in the top 46, do you want to guess how many Armarouges there were?
Top 46?
Yeah, 46.
Like what, 10?
All of the people who made it to Day 2 Swiss.
I'm not looking, so
10?
I'm going to say like 10.
There was one Kevin.
That's because I wasn't there.
That's because you weren't there. There was one Armor Rouge in all of the day 2 competitors.
I think I know why. Because I see a lot of great Tusks and a lot of Dragonites with Ice Spinner, and they just weren't ready for it.
But
you just got to be ready for it.
But you know what? I'm scrolling through the rest of day 1 Swiss, the top people in day 1 Swiss, which goes up to like the top 128. And there are a lot of Armor Rouges down at the bottom there, bud.
It's because I wasn't there.
That's because you weren't there.
I don't think you heard me the first time.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There certainly are 11 Armor Rouges in 48 and below.
So in the whole tournament,
mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the stats now. I scrolled all the way to the bottom. In the whole tournament, there were 66 Armor Rouges. In day 2, there was 1.
Oh no!
So 1 out of 66 in there. A little rough there.
I hate to make you rethink Charlotte.
I'm not.
Good. Cool.
It's too late for me. I've gone through the ringer in teams. I've tried every team under the sun.
Yeah.
I have not performed better than with an Armor Rouge and DD team. And you know what's sad is that this team, Pokemon wise, like I've changed this team so much since Orlando.
Yeah.
It is one Pokemon different than Orlando.
I get that feeling. I totally get that feeling. My violence team has barely changed at all.
I mean, stats, EVs, IVs, moves, all that stuff has changed drastically on the team. But other than that, it's just one Pokemon change.
This team has been optimized for prime Kevin enjoyment.
Yeah, I went from having, I realized like, you know, because I ran poison type brute bonnet at Orlando, and it was doing well for me in Orlando. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is fun. I can deal with Fluttermanes. And then they started burning me in Orlando. So I don't know why it took me so long to come to the realization that I could just run fire type brute bonnet, resist eruptions from a Torkoal, and simultaneously not get burnt while also being able to deal with Fluttermane.
It does all the good things that you want it to do.
I'm like, wait, this is perfect. Why didn't I do this before? No, back to the electric type Amoonguss.
Yeah.
No one is going for a ground move on a brute bonnet, so I will be safe there.
At least for that one turn, yes.
Yes, yeah.
And that's just enough time that you need to was it loaded dice bullet seed a great tusk down.
I saw you were playing a Bullet Seed Brambleghast team this week.
Yes, I was.
And I saw that when I was watching the video, I heard you mention that it's always 4. And
is that right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you mentioned that it was always 4. And you're right. It is always 4. And then you said a percentage increase for a 5. I don't think you know what that percentage is.
I don't know what that percentage is.
It's a 50-50 chance of hitting it the 5th time. That's really
flip?
High. It's a coin flip, yeah.
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we're seeing loaded dice so much.
Yeah, it's actually an incredible and no one predicted this to be true, guys. We all saw that trailer at Worlds where they introduced all the new items and new competitive things. We all said, "Oh, this loaded
cloak."
Yeah, loaded dice sucks. Who cares about it? Covert cloak's the new thing." And here we are having more loaded dice than covert cloak in most tournaments. I mean, yeah, when you make an item go from 2 to 5, become like always 4 and then a coin flip on 5, like that's really good.
Yeah, because you've got some really baller moves. Like let's look at Bullet Seed specifically first.
Base 20. Yeah, it's a base 100 grass type move 100% of the time, and a 50% chance to be a base 120 grass type move.
That's right. Let me blow your mind even more. You said base 20. It's actually base 25.
25.
You got the numbers right. Where it's always a base 100 move basically.
But then I forgot I don't know how to do math.
Yeah, that's fair. But then it goes up to 125. 125. And if you're using stab on
that's
that,
more
if you
than
have
close
stab
combat.
on that,
yeah,
it's amazing. And zero downside to using.
And you can't miss.
That. Yeah,
100% accurate too.
Better than close combat. Like it does so much damage. It's amazing.
Same thing with Icicle Spirit. And I'm about to blow your mind even further, Mike. Do you remember a Pokemon called Glastrier?
Heard of it? Yes.
Loaded dice Icicle Spear on Glastrier is gonna be disgusting. I'm not saying for Calyrex Ice, because Calyrex Ice is always going to use Glacial Lance, we know.
Right.
But Glastrier doesn't get Glacial Lance. And a loaded dice Icicle Spear, if Glastrier ever enters the meta before Calyrex is allowed back, is going to do so much in Trick Room.
And
then you get defense boost in Snow now. Oh, I can't wait for this game later.
Okay, let's break down Glastrier.
Tangent. For some reason, we're talking about Glastrier.
We're going to talk about Eric Rios, who came in first at Utrecht. But first, Glastrier. Let's look into the future and see what happens.
I don't even remember its stats, to be entirely honest.
I will tell you. I have them right in front of me. We've got base 100 attack on, base 100 HP on Glastrier. Okay. We've got base 145 attack on Glastrier.
Oh, I remember
using
this.
A loaded dice Icicle Spear.
It's the perfect distribution. I remember.
We've got yes, it is. We've got a base 130 defense on Glastrier. Up that by 50% because of the snow, and you're sitting at base 195. Pretty good. Special attack 65. It's trash. That's great. Speed is 30. That's trash. That's great.
That's trash. That's great.
I think that's going to be the name of the episode. Special defense is sitting at 110. You put you can't put an assault vest on that, I guess. But you're putting a loaded dice on that so that your Icicle Spears are doing a bajillion damage. You're going first in Trick Room. The Pokemon can't live on the other side of the field. Whatever Pokemon you choose, you're going to choose one and it's going to bye-bye.
You want me to blow your mind even further?
Always.
Every time you get the KO, you're going to get a Chilling Neigh boost,
and
too.
And the Chilling Neigh! Oh, man, I forgot all about the Chilling Neigh. It has an ability that's good.
Oh, yeah. The ability.
Oh, yeah. It got Moxie. Now, let's also not forget that in a world where you have Glastrier, we also already have the Ruinous Pokemon.
Oh, no.
So let's go and toss a Chen Pao in that ice type team.
The mono ice team.
On the mono ice team. Lower the defense by a 25% inherent. And fire some Icicle Spears. Easy peasy.
Oh, no.
Game's over.
There's a Generation 9 Glastrier sprite, so that means it's probably in home.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
We know
so
that
this
it
is
will
coming.
Be. We know
we know this
be.
one?
Yeah.
All right, so this will be fun. See, I've learned so many leaks that I'm afraid to say which is true and which isn't. So I'm just like, maybe.
Glastrier hasn't been confirmed, but we know that it will be in the game. They're all going to be in the game eventually. Not all of the Pokemon, but at least all of the legendary, pseudo-legendary.
Yeah, at least the Gen 8 ones, right? We can't not have the Gen 8 legends.
We just had them. They can't let us forget that quick. All right. Back to Utrecht. Let's go back to the Netherlands. Hop back on the plane. Take the trip. Coming in first, walking away with 200 CP. Eric Rios, who came in with a Arcanine, Amoonguss, Roaring Moon, Iron Bundle, Golden Go, and Iron Hands. It's a very anticlimactic return back to Utrecht that we just did to talk about this team, which again is another version of regulation B.jpg. Right? We've got the Golden Go, which is a little different because it has, but it has the old way of playing Golden Go, the old tried and true way of playing Golden Go.
The tankier version.
Tankier, yes, with leftovers, Protect, Nasty Plot, Make It Rain, Shadow Ball.
And a Water Terror type. Full tank there. Type. Yeah.
That's right.
All the other cool thing on this team is under the same realm of the electric Amoonguss, we're seeing a normal Amoonguss. Where it's like, let me go from having a bunch of weaknesses to one weakness, which I guess, normal does just have one weakness.
And an immunity.
So technically, better than electric. In
what
theory.
a weird world where Terra normal. It's best to just remove all of your types.
Wow. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I get it. And look, it won.
It won. Now, this gives me hope for my Mooring Rune, the Roaring Moon that I run, because this is the exact set. It's Terra type flying with booster energy, protect, tailwind, acrobatics, jaw lock. Instead, I use throat chop, but jaw lock is probably better. That prevents them from switching, right?
Prevents you and them from switching.
Right. Okay.
But yes, I do find it better. I use it specifically to punish Perish if I can.
Makes sense.
Okay, you can't switch either. Good luck. You're stuck
You're
here with
stuck
me.
with me.
I go down, you go down with me.
And next turn, I protect. Now I'm the problem. It's me.
I'm Perish trapping you now.
Iron Bundle with Focus Sash is the Iron Bundle that I know and love. Quark Drive, Terra type Ghost, Protect, Encore, Hydro Pump, and Freeze Dry.
No icy wind on this.
No icy wind.
Whoa. Having more faith in Hydro Pump than icy wind here, Eric. I get you. That's scary though.
I mean, it worked out.
How did you get this far? That's
far,
surprising.
you mean first?
No, like how did you hit that many Hydro Pumps? I would have
Right.
missed the first one and all the preceding ones.
It could be that because there were so many Iron Bundles, this Iron Bundle was just the Iron Bundle killer.
Just a freeze dryer.
Yeah, it was the Freeze Dryer. I've been seeing a lot of Assault Vest Iron Hands.
Yeah, it's probably the most consistent set if I had to guess.
Yeah.
The Volt Switch is actually really good.
Yes, it is. Oh, man, yes, it is, for sure. It does so much damage. Then the Fake Out, Drain Punch, Wild Charge, it's all pretty standard on Iron Hands. Which of these 6 do you see making its way into Regulation C?
Ooh.
Which of these 6 do you see not making their way into Regulation C?
Okay. The ones making their way in,
Mhm.
I think Bundle and Iron Hands will make their way in.
For sure. Yeah.
Simply because Bundle just does something that the Regulation C Pokemon just can't do. Like the Ruinous Legends can't do. Because the only thing that's really changed is the Ruinous Legends are entering in. Bundle has the added benefit of being a Focus Sash user. So in theory, lowering its defense doesn't matter. Lowering its special defense doesn't matter. Lowering its attack doesn't matter, etc.
Right.
And on top of that, it works so well next to a Chi-Yu. Like there's actually a core, the Chi-Yu Iron Bundle and Fluttermane core. Those typings, those stats, that combination works so well next to each other.
Totally.
And they do so much damage when they're on the field together. So I think Bundle is definitely going to be the one that passes over. Iron Hands is going to pass over also too, because that's just the dumb Pokemon that does way too much. And also it's a fighting type, so it gets super effective stab against all of these dark types that are entering. The
also
one,
works well with Jinpao.
yeah. The one that I think is going to struggle a little bit is probably Golden Go. This might be Golden Go's like last run. Because like, maybe not last run. You'll see it here and there, but you're definitely not going to be able to Terra Steel it anymore, I don't think. I don't know. Because like something about a Chi-Yu with a Choice Scarf just smacking you with a Heat Wave or Dark Pulse is not looking great for Golden Go.
That's fair. Yeah, Chi-Yu is just kind of the Golden Go killer on all fronts. It's the antithesis to Golden Go.
You know what I'm excited for? And I know I'm already going off on a tangent again. I don't know. My brain's going a million miles a minute.
You're good.
I really hope we get to see Aegislash in this game.
Oh, okay.
I think that this meta needs like another Wide Guard user. King Shield will be great in a non-Dynamax format. Shadow Sneak will be great at stopping Fluttermanes. It'd be a nice, healthy balance against the Fluttermanes. You can run it physical or special. I don't know. I think there's definitely a place for Aegislash. The Aegislash was bad in Dynamax meta, which is ironic because it was literally called Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah. I think that in this meta, where you can Terrastalize it even, it might be pretty fun. Pretty cool.
Aegislash did have coverage moves as well, and now that they've added in a bunch of like slashing moves,
oh yeah,
there's more reason for Aegislash
Sacred
to
Sword.
be there. Yeah.
Sacred Sword's good against Dozo.
Yep. want to see, I think it's Aqua Cutter.
Is that what it gets now?
Well, no, I don't know
okay.
if Aegislash has been updated for Gen 9, but
who knows?
That would be kind of cool if it did get that. It's cool because it's got the typing of Golden Go, but the defensive power of Glimmora.
Mm-hmm.
Like Glimmora has kind of taken that place, and you see it these days actually in the meta.
As a stall Pokemon too.
Yeah.
It's a stall mon that does damage.
Yeah.
Starts the game, Mortal spins. Okay.
If you have the space, Venoshock. If you don't have the space, Spiky Shield. And then nobody can touch you. And if they do, they're setting Toxic Spikes up on the other side of the field. I think Glimmora, by the way, is the perfect transition from singles to doubles.
It's teaching doubles players what Toxic Spikes
Yes,
are. Yeah.
Exactly. People don't know that Toxic Spikes has been a thing for the longest time. People in VGC wouldn't know. And that's fair, because why would you ever want to use Toxic Spikes? It doesn't really make too much sense. Games go too fast. You've got your 2 leads and then the things that replace the 2 leads, and that's it. But with Glimmora's ability, dropping the Toxic Spikes down on the field, it's giving it purpose. It's giving it, reasons to be on the field, reasons to take hits, and it's still applying that toxic pressure. And it turns out that if you just have that bundled in with an ability with a Pokemon, it's actually pretty good. You don't want to waste a whole attack doing it, but if you had it on the field, you'd be happy with it. No one sets up Sandstorm. Think about that. No one uses the ability Sandstorm. No one uses Snowscape.
But now you have like, hey, let me just set it up.
Right.
Because you hit me. Another Pokemon that might enter soon-ish, if they ever give us home, is Kleavor has Stone Axe.
Ooh.
That sets stones or rocks on your opponent's side of the field. And it also does as much damage as I think it's a rock type close combat that also sets stones or something ridiculous. It's called what? Stone Cleaver.
Stone Cleaver. All I'm seeing, I hate when I look up
Stone Cleaver and then it gives you an actual Stone Cleaver.
Yeah, right. There are some moves where I'm just like, oh yeah, no, that'll just be Pokemon thing. It's not. Stone Axe. So Stone Axe,
that's the one.
Inflicts damage and has an increased critical hit ratio. Also leaves the target with splinters for four turns. So this is Gen.
Oh no, you're looking at the Arceus one. It was updated for
9.
Gen 9.
Yes, Stone Axe inflicts damage and sets up Stealth Rock on the target side of the field. If used by a Pokemon with sharpness, its power is increased by 50%. It has a base power of 65, so it's not all that much. But use that with a sharpness
you have
Pokemon.
Sharpness. Kleavor has sharpness.
Yes,
so that gets 1.5 times boosted, so it becomes base.
Pretty much base 100.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So. Close enough.
And then plus
combat.
stab.
Oh, yeah. So
base 100 plus
combat.
stab plus Stealth Rock. It's really good.
Too bad
and that's going to be like 100%. If Kleavor is decent in the stats category when it comes out into SV,
it's the same thing as Scizor. So it's pretty decentish.
I don't know.
Its distribution
about
ain't bad.
The rock type is kind of silly.
Well, they invented this new mechanic where you can change that.
So then you're committing to terastallizing.
Yeah, that does.
But you're also committing to terastallizing with a Pokemon that you want to be using rock type moves for.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to be using Stone Axe specifically. Are you really going to waste?
I think it'll be better in singles than it will be in doubles.
100%.
But it's interesting that there are moves that are coming in that set hazards on their own.
Yeah,
which is like a lot better. It's like when they invented the terrains in Gen 6. Most people don't know they invented terrains in Gen 6 because they were locked on the actual usage of the move. You had to use Misty Terrain. You had to use Electric Terrain. No one used it.
Right.
It wasn't until Gen 7 where they put the auto setters on the Tapus that they were like, hold on, this is legit.
We can have Pokemon that do things. Wait. Yeah, I mean, they did that with weather already, but the terrain was a completely different thing. And then having them both at the same time it was a wild decision, but they went and did it, and good for them. Honestly, good for them. So yeah, that was Utrecht. We started talking about Utrecht, and then we got really into Cleavor for a second.
Cleavor, though.
Yo, but Stone Axe, though.
What about Cleavor? Do we got any questions? Did we ask a question last week?
Yeah, last week we did ask a question. Right. So with Utrecht being that week, I asked a very complicated question. I made it
how to pronounce Utrecht.
No, I made it very simple for the Q&A. And that question was, what exclusive merch, quote, quote, would you sell at Europe Internationals? Very simple question. We got a bunch of cool answers. From Luca, says plushies, synesties, hoodies, and tees. I like it just for the way it comes, it rolls off the tongue.
Can't wait for the Pikachu tier tea bag.
That's it.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Raven Boy says, I put that fish on everything. Branded Frank's Red Hot Goldfish in Ziploc bags. And all the little goldfish have angry eyebrows like Chi-Yu.
Beautiful.
Frank's Red Hot Goldfish. I put that fish on everything.
Why didn't they do that? That wasn't on the packaging.
It should be. You know what? I'm sure at Frank's Red Hot headquarters, they make that joke often.
Yes.
Talking about the collaboration. Yeah. Ian says, I'd have to try to make something with various ruins from Pokemon, juxtaposing them with various European ruins. Okay, so now we're getting very location based, actually, taking in the culture and giving it to people.
Stone joiners everywhere.
Yeah.
We love it.
Lots of stone joiners, yeah. Falafel says real life size Wailord plushie. Okay, well, you know what? Wish granted. I want there to be so many life-size Wailord plushies at Europe Internationals.
Can I put that on my desk?
Yeah. Also, maybe this person does think that the Wailord plushie should be bigger. They're saying life size.
It's actually
not
1/10.
Life size.
Yeah, it's 1/10 of the size. Someone did the math.
Oh, is it? Someone did a plushie theory.
This isn't life sized. It's almost like it wouldn't fit in your house.
Who would want a whale?
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Wailord is mostly filled with air. That's why its weight to size distribution is so low.
Isn't that the thing with whales too?
That they breathe?
That they do breathe, yes, but a lot of what they're filled with is air, right?
No, I think whales are pretty heavy though. They're more than 400 kilos, which is what a Wailord is.
Big. Day thick.
How much does a whale weigh? Blue whale, I guess. If we're going big.
Okay.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a big number. I can't even pronounce it. 330,000 pounds.
330,000 pounds.
That's a lot.
Okay. Huh.
What?
Payne says, I want more beanies. I love them and wish there were more Pokemon themed ones. I have recently gotten into wearing beanies and I'm down with it.
There aren't a lot of Pokemon hats in general.
No.
You have to go to third party off market.
Mm-hmm. Especially not for people with big heads.
Oh yeah, beanies are perfect for you.
Yeah, beanies are great for me.
Also, I noticing that I see, because we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, how I always get a haircut before a regional, and I did actually, get a haircut before regional, and then I'm looking at you, I'm like, it's been a while, buddy, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to this one.
I'm not going to regional.
Oh yeah, I'll be in Charlotte in case anyone.
And that's why I've got the mustache going, the chin hair, the chin fuzz going, just because I'm not going anywhere. Who do I need to impress? It's fine. A lot of people saying Sinistea plushies, massive covered bins of Sinistea plushies in which there's only one antique form and the rest are phony form.
Ooh, Ooh.
Getting some fungible tokens, I see.
And then that person sells it on eBay for billions.
That's right. That's right. They make all the money. I got the one antique Synesty.
That would start like a riot, though.
Totally. Things would burn.
You can't tell people that you did that. Mm-hmm. You'd have to keep it a secret. Because if you told someone that you did that, forget it. You just see Synesties everywhere. These Pokemon fans are nuts.
They'll do it. I'm telling you. They'll take the whole thing down. One person says that they would brand their own YouTube channel on it, which is fun and cool. One person said, there's Sylveon Mewtwo, says, I would check the Unite, TCG, Go, and VGC team. I really respect Sylveon Mewtwo. Sylveon Mewtwo always puts like the most thoughtful responses down for the Q&A. I would check the Unite, TCG, Go, and VGC teams and decks and make the most used Pokemon. Example, Lugia V-Star, Chi-Yu, Zacian, into plushies with Mewtwo, of course. There you go. P.S. Okay. Dondozo puked up Tatsugiri. That was the thing from last episode.
That would be nice. Dondozo puked up Tatsugiri.
Oh. What if you made it like, those, what were those? It was a TikTok thing with like the little octopus that would invert itself and like,
the angry girlfriend under the covers. And then you give her sacrifices like food.
And then she goes and flips it to the happy face. Yeah. But with a Tatsugiri, like you shove your hand through the Dondozo and you put out the Tatsu and then you pull it back.
And then it's a Dondozo on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's like the Tatsugiri. Oh, so you'd have like a Tatsugiri, right? Yes. And then when you flip it inside out, it's just Dondozo's mouth.
Like a transformer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And then technically the Tatsugiri is inside the Dondozo.
Technically, yes. Yes, that is how that would work.
Hire us, Game Freak. We want royalties.
Yeah. Yep. Don't worry, Game Freak. We alerted you to the Glastrier problem months before it happened. You can go
this is your chance to lower its base attack by 50 points.
You can go and make sure the horse doesn't do the horse things when it comes in soon. Spectrier is also going to have an issue with all of these high statted Pokemon are going to have an issue with the Ruinous Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
There's one other thing that we need to talk about, and Kevin, it was involving the Ruinous Pokemon. What was it that you wanted to talk? you wanted to talk about Wonder Room. This is
I want to talk about two things.
Okay.
We sounded like we were about to end the podcast, but we aren't yet.
No.
There are two things. Currently, there is a glitch going around.
There's a secret ending.
Don't do this because you might get banned for it, but it is legal. Not really. It's illegal. So the way that Scarlet and Violet works and the way that Battle Stadium is coded is that Battle Stadium uses the same hack checker as Sword and Shield for some reason, which means it doesn't flag Expanding Force Hatterene. So in theory, you can generate a Hatterene and go on to the Battle Stadium and play with that Hatterene that has Expanding Force.
Yeah.
This is not tournament legal, but the hack checker doesn't catch it for some reason. And that got me thinking, like, what else is like available that no longer is available, but is available? Because Expanding Force is a big one. No, I haven't thought about it long enough.
Kevin is on the hunt.
But yeah, I haven't encountered anyone using Expanding Force Hatterene, so it's not like a big scare you have to worry about going on Battle Stadium because you're worried about losing your rating. But it's a thing, so I guess don't be surprised when you see it.
Yeah, I want you folks to think about that. What are some moves that you used to use in Sword and Shield that you can't use in Scarlet and Violet with those same Pokemon?
When Rillaboom comes in, it's going to be Grassy Glide.
There you go. Now, interestingly, like it feels like the same flavor of problem as the Terra Raid female Indeedee Trick Room situation, where female Indeedee does not get Trick Room, but if you catch it in a Terra Raid, it will have Trick Room, and that's a game problem.
Yeah. But the difference is that can be legally obtained in the game. You cannot legally obtain a Hatterene with expanding force in the game.
Correct. But
Yeah.
I like the way I say that, the reason that I say that it feels like the same flavor of problem is that just kind of seems like another oversight.
That's a coding error, 100%.
Yeah. Like it shouldn't be a thing. It is now a thing.
But that also gets me to thinking, like, well, why haven't they patched it yet then? Right? Because
I don't think it's been enough of a problem. Have you ever
You don't
experienced?
think Indeedee
the
with
trick
Trick
room-
Room is
oh.
enough of a problem?
Absolutely.
Big problem.
Huge problem. Huge problem. Yeah.
That's the whole reason I'm bringing it. But yeah, they haven't patched it yet.
No.
So it's not like they can't. They can. They could just make it flagged online saying, okay.
I think doing that would be admitting to a level of fault that they don't want to admit to.
Let's be honest,
I think
guys.
that
We all
that
know you
is-
messed up. We all know that's not intentional.
I don't think that they do.
Okay, then give me mail Indeedee with follow me. Why can't I have it go both ways here?
Right? I don't think that they think that enough people know. I think everybody knows that there's been some issues with the game. And that is why they've been very public about being like, hey, we're making big changes to the game. We're fixing the game. We're
Fair.
improving performance. We're doing this. We're doing that. They're not going to say specifically they need to fix. We're fixing Trick Room on female Indeedee. This is a problem for the VGC community and only the VGC community.
No one else cares.
No one else cares. Yeah, there's like 20, maybe 30, 40,000 people right now who know of this problem, who are sitting in like masters.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I assume that the VGC community are the people who are sitting like masters-ish. You know?
Close enough, yeah.
Or at least the people who would know about the issue. Tell me about Wonder Room.
Okay, so I don't think this is going to make Wonder Room like a usable move, but it's definitely something worth considering that you can use Wonder Room to manipulate which stat gets dropped in terms of like Ting Lu and Wo Chen. Because I think the way Wonder Room works is that it flops the defense and special defense stats of all Pokemon on the field that are experiencing the Room of Wonder. So the way that works is that you can kind of prepare for both situations. Like if you have a Ting Lu on the field and you're just like, okay, oh wait, the ones that lower defense, special defense, that's not Ting Lu, that's Chi Yu and Chen Pao. Okay, so if you have a Chen Pao on the team, right, that lowers everyone's defense,
right?
You can just be like, well, now I want to lower their special defense. Let's Wonder Room. And then you just have that option instead.
So the description that Bulbapedia goes and gives Wonder Room. With a priority of 0, Wonder Room swaps the defense and special defense of all Pokemon, but stat changes remain on their respective stat. There are other pieces of text out there that will tell you that it's Wonder Room swaps the original defense and special defense. So what it looks like is that Chi Yu and Chen Pao are reducing the original defense and the original
coded,
special defense. And that makes sense because it's doesn't really live in the same area as all the decreases and increases that you can do. You can still have a +6 and a -6 with the Ruinous ability active. So Wonder Room just switches them. So if you have, like you were saying, Chen Pao out there with minus defense, minus 25% defense, Wonder Room now makes this minus 25 special defense. What I'm curious
cool
about,
interaction, yeah.
What I'm curious about is if you swap Chen Pao out and give that defense back, does it go back on their special defense?
Technically, yes.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you swap it back in, does it reduce their special defense again?
Yeah.
Probably.
And then if you swap in a Chi Yu, it would reduce their defense and not their special defense.
Okay.
Fun little thing there. Little quirk.
So next thing that I want to try is power swap. No, power swap just switches the user's attack stages. Does guard swap switch the defense stages, or does it
the defense with the attack? Yeah.
No, guard swap switches the user's defense stat and stat stages and special defense stat stages.
Is it?
But there was one that the
equals, ones that the Shuckle does.
The Shuckle.
Shuckle does that one.
What's the one the Shuckle does?
It was power swap, I think. No,
I thought it was, but it looks like it's just doing the thing, doing the stats. It's got to be somewhere. We're finding this.
I'm easy. I want to look at Pokemon DB and just look at Shuckle's moves. It's got to be one of them.
Yeah, right. Shuckle moves. It's got
those
here.
stats. Every time I look at Shuckle, I look at those stats. It's not power trick, right? Power split, guard split,
power split. Yes, power split swap, and guard split.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a split and a swap. That's silly.
Who invented that?
It averages the user's attack and special attack with those of the target.
So technically, yeah, you can average things out.
I need Shuckle back in the meta for ruinous Shuckle time.
Is there no other power split Pokemon? Oh, there's a couple.
Sure there are. Yeah.
There's Male and Didi. That's in the game. Masquerain is in the game. Hypno's in the game. Hoopa's not, but it gets it.
And for guard swap,
it's split. We keep saying swap.
Guard split. Female and Didi gets that.
Oh,
We're already using female and Didi, and all the other ones aren't in the game. Carbink, Diancie, Hoopa, they're not in the game. I think. Yeah, no, they're not in the game. So female and Didi, we now have guard split.
So
toss in your Chi-Yus and your Chien-Paos and guard split it up.
Have fun. Tell us if something happens.
Will you have fun? I don't know. I'm not sure if this will be a fun experience for you, but it's there. Anyway, can we end the podcast now?
That's a podcast. Mike has a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching. YouTube allows podcasts now, or they classify podcasts differently than they did. So if you were watching this on YouTube, make sure you say hi. This was recorded like mere hours ago, so you are now witnessing my speedy editing technique.
You did,
which is not to edit it very much, because this is just a full stream of consciousness for an hour.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Toots.
Toots.